Hello and welcome to another selection of the hottest Q&As Reddit has to offer. What fictional character do you feel bad for the most? Any character that loses their glasses, then while they are crawling on the ground looking for them, the glasses get broken. I have no idea why, but that moment always makes me feel worse than most other things. Piggy from The Lord of the Flies, except he fell off a cliff. Or the first victim in The Mummy, dude doesn't just lose his glasses, but his eyeballs right after. Why is everyone so mean to Charlie Brown? Also Courage the Cowardly Dog had to put up with a lot of BS. No kidding, Charlie Brown does nothing but help his classmates, all the time, and just gets crap for it. Watched the Thanksgiving movie for the first time in years last Thanksgiving. I left absolutely pissed that they all invited themselves to Chuck's place and got pissy with what he was able to throw down for a last-second meal. The little match girl? She is homeless, starving, freezing, and lonely, then she dies. My mom thought that it was too sad, so when she would tell me this story she'd change the ending and tell that just as her last match was about to go out, a woman saw the girl, took her home, gave her a nice bath and a room, and adopted her. Years later, when I was old enough, she told me the actual ending and that she had changed it on purpose. Goofy. I'm sure anyone around 30 or so who has seen the Goofy movie understands exactly what I mean. Oof. Yep, that was rough. He just wanted to spend time with Max. NGL Max was kind of an butt. Especially in that scene right before he went to college. Like damn, he spent all that time, you could have waited 15 minutes and eaten a nice home-cooked breakfast. The Girl Squirrel from the Sword in the Stone animated film. If you haven't seen it, the protagonist Arthur gets magically turned into a squirrel and a girl squirrel falls in love with him. When Arthur gets turned back into a human and leaves her all heartbroken and crying, it genuinely upset me. As a young kid, it was one of my first experiences of feeling real pity, and it's stuck with me ever since. It wouldn't have hit as hard if Merlin didn't note that they pick a mate for life. So a little boy's training lesson left that girl squirrel to be heartbroken for the rest of her life. The kid's like 12? How long do squirrels live anyway? Get the hell back in that tree and live a happy life with that girl squirrel, damn it. King of England can wait a few years. I felt bad for Jerry from Parks and Rec until it was revealed he has a massive dick and a hot wife. Similar to Terry's storyline on the same show. Weird, Larry had the same arc. The writers clearly were lazy, Gary has the same one as well. All the kids that go to Hogwarts when HP went there. Crap man, I'm just trying to create a potion that will make broccoli taste like chocolate. Now I gotta fight a war with giant snakes, racist wizards, and poop. Lamau, I was just thinking this as I was watching one of them today. Harry Potter's existence must have ducked up so many kids' experience at Hogwarts. I'd put that more on Voldemort, but to each their own. Faramir. I always feel bad for him when I rewatch the LOTR trilogy for the umpteenth time, the extended edition to boot, which tells more of Faramir's story. Yes. I wish that. Cuts like a knife, man, it's horrible. If I should return. Think better of me, Father. The Cabbage Cart Guy. It's all a ploy by the Lettuce Association of Ba Sing Se. There is no ploy. Would you like a vacation to lovely Lake Laogai? I am honored to accept your invitation. Major Harry Potter spoilers, George Weasley. I honestly believe that killing off just one of the Weasley twins was much worse than killing both. Thinking about it. Definitely. They were inseparable. I can imagine every time he comes up with a joke that his brother isn't there to deliver the punchline for, his heart will sink. And knowing the Weasley twins, that will be constant. JKR stated somewhere that George was unable to cast a Patronus spell for the rest of his life after Fred died. Any citizen in the same city as a superhero. At some point that poop has to get old. Honey, an evil villain is going to release toxic gas at 5 p.m. if Pickle Man doesn't surrender himself. Are the gas masks in the kitchen cabinet or in the RV? Edited to add, I legit pulled Pickleman out of my butt and didn't know it was a real thing. Sorry for the unintentional reference. God, can you imagine the car insurance rates? Your deductible doesn't cover being stepped on by the Hulk. This is the third time this year you've claimed your car was used as a projectile weapon by Superman. Maybe park in a different lot? Anyway, your rates are going up again. Not to mention 8-month waiting list for windshield replacements. Well, if Dr. Doom had announced this was going to happen, we could have stocked up. Klaus from the Umbrella Academy. Literally gets kidnapped and tortured for like 2 days without any of his siblings noticing. Also brought up seeing dead people, which would obviously screw up any child, was locked in a cemetery for hours, etc. No one really cared about him and just saw him as this stoner and couldn't see the whole time he's basically calling out for help. Also Dave. Yeah, really felt for him when he started to finally control his power, only for the rest of them to not believe him. I think we've all felt the hopelessness of not being believed at some point in our lives. Butters, this poor kid is always manipulated by his friends and grounded for everything. Butters. You're grounded. That line always makes me laugh but also feel so bad for him. Ah, hamburgers. Uncle Iroh. Compared to other fictional characters, he didn't go through that much, but damn, they make his pain feel so intense. Loses his son and then gets shamed for quitting because of it. Compared to other fictional characters, he didn't go through that much, loses his son and then gets shamed for quitting because of it. Loses his son. Loses his father. Loses his brother. Loses his country. Seen by the world as one of the biggest failures, mocked by both sides, he lost plenty. Doofenshmirtz. Dude got left for a whale. His parents didn't show up the day he was born. He could have probably financed the whole therapy industry himself with all that trauma. Jax Friend in Titanic. Imagine, you sneak onto a world-class cruise with your best friend in the whole world, only for him to completely ignore you for a mediocre girl, only for you to ducking die when the ship sinks. All these years Abed countless rewatches and I never considered what happened to him. They show him getting crushed by one of the smokestacks. Ice King from Adventure Time. All the man wants is someone to love. I mean, yes, he is going about it in the worst way possible, but still. All he has is his penguins. And his past is just so sad. Him and Marceline break my heart. Jesse Pinkman. Ah man, life just would not let him sort himself out. He wasn't really bad, just broken. The bit where he covered for his kid brother's drugs, I think that was the real Jesse. Like the episode in the Tweaker's house with the ATM, that one really showed me that Jesse just got caught up in poop that he wasn't meant to be in. Sidney Prescott. She's had, what, 8 different serial killers after her? Pretty much everyone she's known or dated has been brutally murdered. And all because she did nothing. She did nothing to deserve a life of torment. Realistically, her mental health would be effed. She'd probably be in a facility somewhere, catatonic from all of the grief and built-up survivor's guilt. Or maybe she would have killed herself, thinking that was the only way to prevent another ghost face from hacking up everyone around her. Poor Sid Frodo. He ends up burnt out, with severe PTSD, a missing finger, lasting blade venom and spider bite toxic shock. His achievements are unknown in the Shire. He remains a casualty of the War of the Ring. His achievements are known throughout much of the rest of the world though. When Aragorn says you bow to no one at the end of ROTK, everyone bows to them. I'd imagine tales of folklore were established for them after the war as well, because Aragorn and the Fellowship know just how much the hobbits did to end the war. Plus on top of that, Frodo wrote a book that told the whole story, so I'm sure that got pushed around eventually. Who needs the people of the Shire anyways? They didn't even know a war was going on. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.